Rain, rain, go away. India, Sri Lanka want to play. India at the 47 over mark finds itself at 197 for 9. It is what it is, and I often feel that life philosophy is a great repository of cricket gyan and vice versa. No 2 days are the same, Mr. Bhogle.
I love that word repository. Well done.
आपके साथ time बिता के थोड़ा बहुत.
Repository. Dunit Wellalage is
Like,
the repository of left arm spin bowling. He's got 5 for 40. And what about Charit Asalanka?
4 for
No,
80.
that-
You're only saying these names because you like the sound of it, right?
No, more seriously, this is a great example of why one of your top order batters must at least bowl some finger spin. Suddenly, this is the entire template by which Sri Lanka won the 96 World Cup. Where Sanath Jayasuriya batting at 1 and Aravinda batting at 4 used to give 20 overs sometimes because they could do that.
Yeah.
But is this game over? I don't think so.
It isn't. Long way to go. But no 2 days are the same. That's what I was referring to.
Oh, I thought you were saying no 2 days for this game.
Well, with ABA, because clearly no reserve day. Let's not go there. We've touched upon that already in great detail. But how surprised are you? 15 hours ago, life was so different. Today, it's something else.
Different pitch, yeah.
Different pitch, different conditions completely to what it was yesterday. Two partnerships stood out, one between KL and Ishan and one between the openers Shubman and Rohit. And when Rohit and Shubman were batting, you got the feeling it was easy. Yes, they played a majority of fast bowling, so it is much easier for the fast bowler to play the fast bowlers. Now, when it came to spin, it was a pitch that was designed to help the Sri Lankan spinners, that had a little bit of turn, that obviously stopped on you. And the first wicket partnership, if you see how well they batted through that, especially Rohit Sharma, he got going right from the outside. Great intent. He's been very consistent in this series, and that in itself is a massive plus for us. Shubman Gill has been very, very good. Today, he obviously got an absolute beauty in the 12th over first ball from a finger spinner. It's unbelievable the amount of effect finger spinners can have on slow turners or slow pitches. Because their accuracy is their strength, and they become very venomous. On flatter wickets, wrist spinners become more effective because even if they bowl the odd bad ball, they will always produce that magic delivery which the batsman is not sure of, especially their other one or the wrong one as you call it. This is where ODI cricket stands. On some days, finger spinners are very effective. On most days, wrist spinners are very effective because of the placid nature of the pitches. This one in Colombo, obviously designed to suit the spinners and the Sri Lankan spinners, especially part-timer Charit Asalanka, the 7th bowling option today. To have come there and done what he's done is phenomenal. We all know how good Wellalage is, but well backed up by Asalanka as well.
5 for 40 for Dunit Wellalage and Harsha. Those who have followed Sri Lankan cricket closely shouldn't be surprised with what they've seen.
This is promise getting translated at a much higher level. You saw the promise at a very young age. We've talked about it before when he was the breakout player at the Under-19 World Cup. But today he's got a surface that's almost like a feast his mother would have prepared for him. So he's got that track. But sometimes when we talk about the pitch, we tend to take away from how well a bowler's bowled. Because even if the pitch is conducive to you, you still have to bowl very well on it. And I think the lengths that he bowled, he hardly ever allowed the drive. He hardly ever got hit over his head. I think got once or twice, I think, back over his head.
Ishan Kishan.
So he bowled beautiful lengths. And I think you can't take away. Of course, the wicket helped him, but you cannot say that was the only reason he got those wickets. He bowled beautifully. By the time Asalanka came on to bowl, yeah, you could say the wicket was his friend because ordinarily Asalanka would not have come anywhere near as close as this.
Even without a pitch like this, he's bowled fairly well in this tournament so far.
The last pitch that they played on, not similar, but very effective as well.
Yeah.
There, the natural variation to get the one going straight through caused all the doubts in the opponent's batters. Now, this is an area we spoke about for India as well. It's an Achilles heel, the left arm spin to the middle order. And on slow pitches especially, I think on flatter pitches, they will in most cases play well. But on slow pitches, it's a massive, can't say it's a headache, but it's something that they need to be aware of. Wellalage, on the other hand, what I've really enjoyed is how well he finishes his action, even though he is slightly away from the ear, as they call it, and the way he is able to get revolutions when he is able to bowl it that far away, and that has been so impressive to watch. It's a bit of a side spinner, but he's able to get turned because the pitch is assisted with that, and he looks like a man with one part of his game sorted, which is consistency in length. I think he's been very good at that.
I know we're sitting a few thousand miles away from Colombo, but your pitch report at the halfway mark?
I think 220 is a winnable score. 200, if we bowl well, is definitely is not going to be easy for Sri Lanka.
Years ago, you wrote an article. One of the lines said, "Good pitches produce good cricket." Is this a good pitch?
In that it's not equally fair to bat and ball. You'd say it's tilted more towards the bowler than the batter. It's not the kind of pitch that you'll write editorials over. It's not the kind of pitch where you'll say you stole the game from us. So sometimes it's okay to get a pitch like this. In that the batters must be tested in different conditions. Yeah. You cannot say a batter hit through the line, it'll always be like that. Let's test out. Sometimes 220, 230 games are thrillers. So if Akshar and Siraj can drag this game to another 10, 15 runs, then we might still get a very good game. I think Jadeja will be the key here because he also turns the ball a little bit more than Akshar does, and that little movement should be enough for him. So I mean, as the track has gone on, I started first I thought 260, 270, another 230, 240 is good enough to win this game. It'll be interesting how it goes along. I would like to see. Because the wrist spinner doesn't get that much, I'd like to see someone like a Hardik coming and bowling cutters on this track. Yeah. Slightly fast, effectively fastish off breaks. I think his natural action allows him to do that. So it's not that India don't have a response to this, but whether the clouds allow it, I don't know.
Very often, the person who does the pitch report gets it wrong. Do players and captains and coaches get it wrong as well in their reading of the pitch?
Very much so. Reading a pitch is an art in itself, and you don't get it right every time. You have a ballpark judgment as to what you feel the pitch would do, looking at the surface, and also a little bit about the track record of how this pitch has behaved over a period of time, and then you make your assessment. When you looked at the pitch, you knew there was going to be turn, but what has been surprising is the lack of pace in it and the consistency with which it is turned and the amount of turn that's been available. Now, turn is a very relative statement. There could be less turn or more turn on certain days, but today was a day when there's prodigious turn. Because with the white kookaburra ball, if you're able to produce so much turn, if it was a test match, it will be turning a lot more because of the leather, the sheen on the leather being lesser, the protrude, with the seam being protruded, it will be a lot more. So this is a pitch where this is a proper day 4, day 5 pitch of a test match. In ODI cricket, with the kookaburra ball that it is used, still providing enough turn and bounce for the spinners to work with. And some of those balls in many ways are unplayable, like the one that Hardik got, the one that Jadeja got, Shubman Gill's ball, Rohit Sharma's ball. So this is what happens. Where on the other side, if you do fall and look at how a Virat Kohli or a KL Rahul got out, complete lack of pace, you're setting up yourself for a normal ball, but then the ball stops on you and you have nowhere to go and you just check your shot, but then it's too late by then you try to do that.
Quickly, they would have recalibrated the total they're looking for in the dressing room, saying it's not on 280, maybe 230 is fine.
They might have, certainly from the way that Ishan Kishan was batting. Now you look at Ishan Kishan's 35 runs, 33 runs and say, oh, they're a lot more valuable than you thought they were. But on the pitches itself, look, it's an inexact science. Investors who spend all that time studying algorithms, studying movements with tons and tons of data cannot get the market right. So pitches are an inexact science to that extent. I don't know if all of us watching the first 11 overs had no clue it's suddenly going to become like this.
Yeah.
So this is as DK said, it's a tailor-made pitch. They sent out a decoy for the first 11 overs, and India got the advantage, taking 80 runs with that decoy. Then the pitch changed.
Very often we in cricket media tend to talk too much about good pitch, bad pitch, etc. What about skill? What about batting skill against decent or good quality spin bowling?
When Rohit was batting, we got the feeling that there was not too much happening until Shubman's wicket fell. So if you look at the overall context of the game, I thought the best batter today was KL Rahul, with how he tackled spin, how late he played, his ability to play shots that no one else could, his ability to get on the back foot to rotate singles and also produce boundaries without taking a risk. That was the beauty about KL Rahul's batting, and that's why he stands apart from the rest of the batters. He's gone through the domestic grind a little bit and also is known to be a very good player of spin. In general terms, when we say very good players of spin, these days it's attributed to six hitting. But when those days it was about using your feet, it's about taking singles, it's about how late you're able to play a ball, which in turn gives you the advantage of at times playing two shots to a ball. You can either play it offside, if it turns a little in, you can play it on the leg side. Now that is what KL Rahul is. His ability to play late stands out from the rest. Virat Kohli was a great player of spin when he just started out from domestic cricket, because even though he didn't have the sweep, his ability to step out and at times flick the ball from the crease was superb. But over a period of time, when you play a lot more international cricket, you focus on playing fast bowlers, because that is the variety that tests you the most. When you go abroad, nobody tests you with spin. It's mostly fast bowling. So you spend a lot of time harnessing your game and improving your ability to play fast bowling. And for sure, if you've been a player from India who started as a good player of spin and done well in international cricket, your ability to play spin tremendously reduces, and your ability to play fast bowling vis-a-vis increases a lot better. And there are many cases like that, Virat Kohli being a prime example of that for me.
In your career, you've seen some great batters against spin. Is coming down the track and stroking it for a single, is that becoming an old-fashioned art now?
It depends on the surface as well. Can you back yourself to get to the pitch of the ball? On a surface like this, it's turning a lot. So players would be a little hesitant to come that far down the pitch. Because as we were told when we were growing up, if you come to the pitch of the ball, it doesn't matter which way it's turning. Because you're that close to the ball, it doesn't matter which way it's turning. That's why a lot of great Indian batters often hit the ball against the spin. Because with their footwork, they came so close as to negate the turn of the ball, and they could hit against the turn.
Yeah.
I don't know on a surface like this whether people are willing to do that. They're certainly not. It's certainly dangerous to go and to hit on the top, over the top, because that means you're giving that. You need that much distance between where the ball pitches and where your bat is, and it's turning too much for that. So on surface like this, it's perfectly fine to. I mean, if you have the skills that KL Rahul played, if you had two KL Rahuls, you'd be making 240, 250 on this pitch as well.
You got to understand why the art of stepping out is reduced now. Now stepping out means you're looking for a six. Why has that reduced? It's simple. Pre-T20 era, to a large extent, the average speed of the spin bowler was between 78 to 84. Post the T20 coming in and the placid nature of the pitch, and most importantly, a Kookaburra ball which doesn't aid spin because of the lack of protruding seam that a normal other ball has, a Dukes or an SG for that matter, the general speed, the average speed of the spinner has gone up from about 82 to 88. So which means you have lesser time when you step out. So you much rather stay in the crease and back your ability to hit a full ball for a six, or one that's slightly further away from you, than get close to the ball when you don't have time. So that is why that part, or that art of stepping out, is reduced tremendously. For modern day players, for a lot of them, stepping out will only mean to looking to hit a six. Yeah. It is a shot that they play when they've set a bowler up and they know that he's going to bowl full, and they go for the six. You can see KL Rahul is again a great example. He is the only player, but he did it to an off spinner. He's the only player who stepped out to play a couple of singles. Yeah. Now that comes from that comes from obviously playing domestic cricket a lot. You have to do that in domestic cricket because you play a lot more spin. KL Rahul has been in the international setup for a long time, but tells you why he was a marquee player of spin during the time that he was playing domestic cricket.
Actually, if you see a lot of the spinners, when we were growing up, or even after we were a certain age, the trajectory was always like this. The spinner would go and the ball would drop on you. And your big variation, obviously the variation off the deck, but the variation was in the air as well. You get the ball to drift, the ball would drop. I think the trajectories have also changed, as DK was saying, with the change in speed. You're bowling flatter, faster lines and doing much more off the track, so you're not coming down the wicket that.
Today, you'd expect Jadeja to bowl a bit slower to get some more help off the pitch?
100%. Also, the pitch is aiding spin, even if you bowl flat. So that makes it even tougher. Though Jadeja, what he would do is bowl slightly fuller than normal, so that he is not just getting cut for a single. On these sort of pitches where it's holding a bit, if you bowl your natural length that you bowl with white ball, which is slightly further away from the batter, it becomes easy to play the back foot. What he needs to do is bowl test match bowling, basically try and get him to defend, and that gives you the opportunity to get the edge and get LBWs.
40 of the 47 overs bowled were by the spinners. I'm sure that wasn't plan A for Sri Lanka.
If it wasn't, then they deserve the credit because they picked it up very quickly and had plan B, but they also had the bowlers to implement plan B. Especially Dhananjaya De Silva, Charit Asalanka in your top 6 batting. So in your top 6, you got a wicketkeeper plus, today, wicketkeeper plus 19 overs in your top 6, which is something that teams have only when they're used to playing in conditions like those. So if it wasn't part of the plan, then they reversed course, then they changed course very quickly, and they deserve credit for that.
It's something that Indian fans really envy in that Sri Lankan cricket squad. There's a question that came into us, I think a couple of weeks ago. We've had to wait to bring this question up. It's come to us with hashtag #AskCricbuzz Ganesh Gautam, Patient Space, well done. Why don't we ask batters to do bowling practice? Shreyas Iyer is a decent bowler, but we never get him to bowl in regular matches. It helps a lot and adds another option. Our part-time bowlers contributed a lot in 2011. This is a hot topic and the nation wants to know.
All right, here we go. I will tell you why this has been a massive topic of discussion. Why aren't batters bowling? The main reason is up until 2011 World Cup, the rules of the game were different. There was no second power play, and most importantly, there wasn't two new balls. Now, the moment they changed the rule to having one new ball from each end, you're effectively at the end of 50 overs having just a 25 over old ball. So, a bowler, a part-time bowler now has to learn to bowl with a much newer ball than he would if he was bowling the 35th, 36th over pre-2011. That is one. Number two, with the rule in place being changed, with just 4 fielders outside between 11 and 40, even full-time regular spinners are having an issue because the moment they drop it slightly short or slightly full, they get hit for a boundary. So your margin of error is reduced considerably after this rule change. So in effect, most batters have been reluctant from bowling in ODI cricket, and add to the fact that in T20 cricket, bowling a part-timer has become literally nullified in the last 5-6 years because any over, there is not one over in the 20 overs where you can say this is an over we can just get away. Before, it used to be the 7th over, at times the first over, but not anymore. People are looking to take you on consistently. So the whole concept of part-time bowlers, of when it comes to batting, anchors, they are becoming redundant. They don't exist anymore, and hence people like Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, who could have easily rolled their arm over pre-2011 when the rules were in favour to bowl that over, are no more willing to take the ball because A, they don't practice because they know they won't get an opportunity in T20s. In ODI cricket, with the rule change and the ball change, they've completely made it impossible. Unless and until you're a very good bowler, it is very hard. Or if you have conditions like this today, then an Sri Lanka, who we haven't seen much up till now with a ball, has come to good effect.
The words bits and pieces, it's a dangerous expression on cricket shows. I won't use them, but does it mean, sorry, what happened?
No, I'm just listening to you.
Does it mean that if you are okay at 2 skills, you're not good enough to play at the highest level? You've got to be super good at both skills.
Your second skill is always fielding. So you've got to be batsman plus fielder. 2 skills are mandatory. A third skill makes you a special player. But the 2 skills are mandatory. Either you've got to be a top bowler, and fielding is now a non-negotiable skill. In the modern game, with modern athletes, with everything that you're available to you, a 2-skill cricketer is now non-negotiable. Can you have a third skill, or maybe a second skill and a quarter, like say Sri Lanka has, which in certain conditions suddenly comes out? Can you have that third skill? But two are mandatory. Third skill player, I mean, you got a Jadeja. That is why Jadeja is such a valuable player. Because a genuine 3 skills player, and such players are very rare. Hardik Pandya is a genuine 3 skills player because he's plus in the field as well. Jadeja is always plus in the field. So the 2-3 skill, the third skill is not very common. But we also get a lot of criticism saying, you're always saying, why can't batters bowl? We are always saying, why don't bowlers learn to bat? I think in the modern game, it's easier for the bowler to become a better batter than it is for the batter to become a bowler.
And I'll tell you why. That's a great point. For the bowler to become a batter, it is much easier. Why? Only because from the advent of the bowling machine, the quantum of balls you could face has increased. Now, about 7 years ago, they started bringing in what is called a sidearm. So they've started having professional sidearm throws, which mimics the bowling up to a point. So again, you can play quantity to an extent, be it fast bowling, be it ginger, medium pace, whatever you want to do. So that gives the opportunity for the bowlers to go out there and get better at their batting skills. And the major reason, apart from these 2 rule changes as to why batters are reluctant to bowl, is the amount of matches they play. Their bodies have small niggles, and that's why most of the batters who used to bowl have stopped bowling, because at some point they've missed a game, or they were about to miss a game due to a niggle that happened because of them bowling in practice or in a match, and they've said it's not worth it, because the moment they leave a chance, like KL Rahul, Shreyas Iyer is a great example. The moment, one match when Shreyas Iyer should have played, back stiffness, KL Rahul comes in, he's taken his spot. That's the kind of competition that's available in Team India right now. So if you're going to lose a match because you've been practicing bowling, you get a hamstring niggle and you're not able to do your batting well, or you're not able to play a game, or a shoulder niggle, you don't want to risk that, knowing that you're not going to be bowling for a majority of the year. It's not worth investing in. I think that's one of the reasons as well that both batters have been reluctant to bowl.
So today in the nets, a Shubman or Virat and Rohit have been around for a while, but a Shubman or a Shreyas or a Sky will not bowl in the nets because of the sidearm thrower.
100%. Because sidearm thrower, A, they end up batting a lot more because there are specialists who are helping you with that practice. And B, like if you take Surya Kumar, he was bowling actually quite a bit during the time he was playing for Mumbai. I've played against him and he's bowled to me as well in Vijay Hazare and T20, but not anymore. He realizes that he much rather use that skill in batting and use that time efficiently with improving his batting than go on to, do some bowling. Rohit Sharma has picked up a hat-trick in IPL.
Out of those, Rohit Sharma proper. I mean, we talk often of Sehwag. I don't know if Rohit Sharma wasn't in the Sehwag class as an off-spinner. But Rohit Sharma definitely had it in him to do what Sri Lanka has done today. But I think he had a shoulder injury at some point. I think he stopped. Was it shoulder?
Yeah, that was a shoulder injury.
He stopped bowling after that.
Yeah. And also, if you take Virender Sehwag as a great example, he was bowling even in T20s, but there came a point when he could only bowl if there were two left-handers at the crease. Yeah. And that's when you saw slowly but steadily started seeing him decline in his bowling as well. So the game has changed. It takes a lot of fitness. It takes a lot of mental skill to tell yourself that I want to be a part-time bowler as well. Now it's a new fad. You can see Tilak Varma, Yashasvi Jaiswal all rolling their arm over in the hope that somewhere they'll get an opportunity to bowl. But the moment they pick up their first niggle, or when they get hit in a couple of matches and realize it's not really working out, you can see the interest slowly but steadily diminishing. But I still feel Tilak Varma has got some skill with the ball compared to the others around.
While I love the IPL, it's great for Indian cricket. It's starting to work like a feeder system for the national team. Is the impact player rule working against the objective of creating or producing more three-skill all-rounders for India?
It's the first year. It's the first year of the impact sub-rule. So let's wait and see. At the moment, yes, because effectively it's become a 12-side game. So when it's a 12-a-side game, you don't need the little bowler when you can play with 6 bowlers. So if you start off by playing 6 plus 5 or 7 plus 4, say 4 bowlers plus an all-rounder, and then you sub one, you've got 6 bowlers. You don't need anyone else to bowl. So it could work that way with the impact sub. Let's wait and see how it plays out, because sometimes you need a season or two to really judge where it's going. But what we saw from the first year was, yes, the all-rounder, or rather the predominant single skill player who had a second skill, was getting diluted a little bit.
And so is there need to change something in junior cricket, school cricket, under 16, under 19?
At the junior level, a lot of the young kids are all-rounders because they're trying to figure out what they are good at. It comes to a point when they need to choose, and they end up choosing whichever skill that they feel they're better at. A great example for me is in KKR, 2 players. One was Venkatesh Iyer, who's predominantly a batsman who could bowl medium pace and bowled very decently. But the moment he got the injury, he's not able to bowl, and slowly but steadily he's bowling a decline. Now he's trying to get his work back. On the other hand, it was Nitish Rana, who wasn't bowling as much. When he got the opportunity to bowl, and then when he became captain, he used his bowling a lot more, and he is now in many ways a proper all-rounder. He bowls a couple of overs, sometimes 3 as well in a T20, and he's a proper middle-order batsman as well. So there are cases like this. The awareness is created though, that you're far more valuable if you can bowl a bit as well. But for that to get into the system, for players to believe it and see the value of it, will take a 5-year cycle. I think it started around 2022 when they really felt the need for it. By around 2027, we will see a lot more players from Team India bowling in IPL, and then from there on bowling for India as well.
Yes, while it's very gloomy in Sri Lanka, play has stopped India 197 at this stage. At the 47 over mark, there were 2 rays of sunshine. One, of course, the KL Rahul innings that Dinesh Karthik spoke about. And then Rohit Sharma scaling Mount 10K, 10,000 run, second fastest to the 10,000 run mark. You saw him, you know him since the day he started playing serious cricket.
You can say that to a point. I do know him for a very, very long time. Very close friend of mine as well. In many ways played a lot of my cricket with him. Very fun-loving guy, whether he's been the Indian captain or whether he was at this debut. Very similar in personality. I always call him the Borivali king. He is from Borivali. So I remember the first time I saw him. This staggering stat for me is phenomenal because of the three names below Rohit Sharma, and we're talking about three legends of the game. Wow. 259, 263, and 266 from three of the greats in the game. But he's gotten there almost 20 games ahead. So that's phenomenal. But speaking about Rohit Sharma, the first time he came into bat was in Ireland. He was a young prodigious talent picked by Dilip Vinsarkar, and he was touted to become a big superstar, and today he is a superstar. So the first time I was batting with him, I was batting and he joined me at number 7 when the 5th wicket had fallen. Andrew Hall was bowling and he came in and asked what's happening, and I said, look, I think he's bowling pretty fast. I can't pick his action. You be careful. I remember after the game,
he did have a peculiar action.
Yeah, he did have a peculiar action. After the game, he's like, it's my first game. You could have said something nicer. Stuck to my head that I just made it a little more difficult than what it was. But that was a cold day in Ireland when Rohit Sharma started his journey. But what has been great is his metamorphosis of a batsman from being a middle order who's played 80 games at an average of 30 today in 267 games to have averaged 49 for a start with 28 hundreds in those 180 matches as an opener. Phenomenal. I've seen it happen right in front of my eyes. In many ways, the reason he's opening today is partly because of me, because I did well in 2 practice matches where he batted 4 and I batted 5, and then they realized that I was batting so well that they had to fit me in at number 4, which Rohit Sharma was playing in. So it was a choice between Murali Vijay and Rohit Sharma, and Dhoni chose Rohit Sharma, and as they say, the rest is history. And Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan also post the Sachin Tendulkar, Ganguly, Virender Sehwag, Gambhir. I think Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan were a pair that was legendary in nature, who achieved a lot of great things through their time as an opening pair.
There's something about that Western Railway line. You start from Borivali and come all the way up to Bandra, past Santa Cruz, Khar, come to Bandra. And there was a player from Bandra as well who after his first 80 matches was averaging about that 30 only. Then after 84 games, they said you go and open the batting. And he opened the batting and he played 450 ODIs.
You might know him.
I've heard of him, seen of him a little bit.
But those numbers that
to be compared with Sachin Tendulkar, like what Harsha is just doing, that in itself, to be put in the same line along with Sachin Tendulkar is an amazing achievement. I'm really happy for him. I've known him for a long time, know his family, terrific guy. But yeah, continue.
Yeah.
Harsha, just
if you put that graphic, superimpose that graphic against what he said about 2011. About the change in rule with only 4 fielders allowed outside till the 40th over. So between 15 and 40, now between 10 and 40, there's only 4 fielders outside. Earlier it used to be for the first 15 overs you had 2 outside, but from 15 to 50 you had 5 fielders outside.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that easy to get the big runs quickly. So you'll see as the ODI records go along, the Virat Kohlis, the Babar Azams, everyone who comes in will start having better and better records, because they'll score a lot of runs in the middle overs, which earlier was not that possible. But also the earlier generation has shown the way, saying, look, this is what is possible. Each generation expands the imagination for the next generation. So for example, scoring a 200 was like considered not allowed. Now you get 100 out of 100 in Hindi essay. So now anything is possible, right? But when Tendulkar got 200, he showed 200 is possible. Earlier, if you got 100 in a one-day international, it was a huge thing to score 100 in a one-day international. I remember Desmond Haynes had more hundreds than all of India's batsmen put together until Tendulkar started scoring all those big runs. So 2 things happened. One generation showed the other what is possible. Then the rule changes with the two balls and the field restrictions made it easier to get the big runs.
Yes, with Rohit Sharma,
Then 20 overs cricket came.
Yes.
We started becoming bolder.
Mumbai cricket is like a giant village, right? If there is a young player popping up, he gets talked about. Before Rohit became Rohit Sharma, the star, or Rohit Hitman Sharma, as they call him on Twitter these days, was there word around him? Was he earmarked for greatness?
Is he Hitman because Twitter calls him that, or is...
He is Hitman, but sort of this thing has become famous on Twitter.
Yeah, I remember back, it was in 2006. He played the 2006. He's the 2006 batch. Now, like out of engineering college or management school, they say, what batch were you? You've got to say, what batch were you? 2004 batch. Rohit Sharma Pujara 2006 batch. And it was around 2006, but before 2007, when he played the T20 World Cup, that I met Ramiz Raja, and Ramiz Raja said to me, यार ये सब छोड़ो, वो तुम्हारे पास एक लड़का है रोहित शर्मा, उसको खिला लो, सीधे आंख बंद करके उसको इंडियन टीम में खिलाओ. And I think he had gone straight from under 19 to playing for India A. That India A system is is a wonderful system. We need to play much more of India A.
Wow, I wish we could go on, but the good news from Colombo is that covers are coming off and we might soon get some news. So regardless of whatever happens, we will see you soon as we have an update from Colombo. India 197 for 9 at the 47 over mark. 3 more overs to go, a wicket left. Will be a fun second innings if the rain relents. That's it for now from us. See you soon. Bye-bye.